Hello, this is Patrick from XPression. I'd like to show you a new tool within the XPression MOS workflow, the ability to export the preview image as a still file. I'm working in the Inception newsroom system and I have my XPression MOS plugin open. And I have a graphic here that I need to prepare. The web guys would like to have a lower third to put on a still piece of video or image that they have and they want it to match. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter in the information. They told me the guy's name is John Doe and he is the eyewitness to the crime. So I've got that put together. There's the graphic, and they would like this just still image. They don't need the animation. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to come up with a thumbnail. I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose export image. And when I do that, I'm going to get a Windows file dialog box, and it's going to give it the file name by default of the scene name that was created. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter in the other information. So here's John Doe graphic for web. That's because that's the name file that I get to use. Now, just to show this to you, if I come into Photoshop, I'm going to go ahead and open that up and export it as a PNG file. So just to look at it in Photoshop, what you're going to see, the image that I get is my lower third, and the checkerboard, for those of you who aren't Photoshop savvy, is the showing that there is no background here. In other words, it's keyable. So the checkerboard is the background image. I'm going to go back out of Photoshop and go back into my XPression scenes, and I had created this is a test, just so you can see this graphic is not a standard size. I went and create a custom scene size in XPression, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and I'm going to change at 11 p.m. So there's a banner they would like to match the broadcast graphics package. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to right click, I'm going to export the image, and I'm going to call this watch banner for 11 p.m. and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to come into Photoshop, and what I want you to notice, this image is 1920 by 1080. If I go ahead and I open up the banner image that was created for me, it was not created at 1920 1080. The actual scene size was much smaller. It was 1920 by 250, I believe is what it was. And you can see that this Photoshop image is much smaller. If I actually go into the image properties and I look at the image size, again, you'll see if I change this to pixels, it's 1920 by 250. Where if I go to the other image that was created and it was using a default size that matched the rest of my project, it is also 1920 wide, but it is 1080 high because that's the size in my XPression project. So this is the way that you can go into the XPression MOS editor, the XPression MOS plugin, and now export the preview image as a still file.